Now, your latest news update from Western Mass News.
Good morning, I'm Glenn Kittle, and this is your latest news update from Western Mass News. Richard Dayview, the Granby man whose COVID-19 recovery led to him and his siblings opening a new restaurant in Western Mass, has sadly passed away in a crash in Florida. The tragic news was confirmed yesterday evening. We first introduced you to Dayview in May of 2020. At that time, Richard was hospitalized at Bay State Medical Center, spending nearly 80 days in a coma. And two groups made stands on literacy as the school's committee continues discussions on proposed book bans. People organized a peaceful stand-up to protest the event, which comes at a time where the school committee plans to continue conversations on a book ban proposal, which includes books with written, visual, or sexual content. The Ludlow School Committee will continue discussions on the proposal at another meeting, but a date for that meeting hasn't been decided yet. An influencer, Kai Cenat, has been charged after chaos erupts in New York City's Union Square. The Twitch streamer announced a free game console giveaway, which somehow turned to pure mayhem. Though Cenat does face charges connected to the incident, he has been released from police custody.
Well, today is going to be another nice day today for your Sunday with lots of sunshine and low humidity. As we take a look at the rest of your day today, we're going to be looking at pretty much full sunshine. We'll see temperatures getting into the lower to middle 80s across the area, and we'll see those dew points also only getting into the 50s. So it's not going to be humid today. It's really going to be a nice day. Now, as we head through the overnight hours, we're going to start to see the cloud cover begin to work in out ahead of our next rain system that we're going to be expecting for Monday and into Tuesday. Temperatures overnight will drop down into the 60s, and then early tomorrow morning we could start to see some light showers across the area, and then as the morning progresses we could see that become a little bit heavier in nature. We could see a few embedded downpours as well, but then as we head towards the afternoon hours on Monday, it looks like the showers become a little bit more scattered in nature and not as widespread. We'll also be looking at temperatures topping off getting into around 80 degrees. As we head into the next couple of days for your day, we're also going to be looking at more humidity on Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday looking like another rainy day as well, and then we dry things out and turn breezy for Wednesday and Thursday with highs in the middle 80s. And right now the weekend is starting to trend dry, but we can't rule out the risk for an isolated shower. Have a great day, everyone.
Stay with Western Mass News on air, online, and on our app throughout the day for breaking news, weather, and exclusive content.